All right, I think we're live. I think we're good. And I see a comment has rolled in immediately from
Awesome.
Inkyshot JR. Well, welcome everybody for another edition of IoT Happy Hour. I think this is number 12, if Andrew was correct.
Yeah.
Andrew's actually going to be emceeing today because I'm going to be performing a live build of our brand new Inky Shot project. And we're joined by Catt, who actually thought up, created, and got the whole project up and running and off the ground. I'll pass it over. Andrew, you want to take us away then?
Yeah, for sure. Welcome, everyone. It's been a while. It's great to be back, and it's great to be in these new digs. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we're trying to level things up here. So we're using the wonderful StreamYard moving forward here, which is amazing. I like it. We're probably going to run into a couple snags here and there, but hey, that's the fun of a live show, right? I'm Andrew Nem, the content strategy at Balena. Building all kinds of cool stuff, helping the hardware hackers, helping wonderful folks like Catt get, help bring their projects to the public. We don't have any kind of like audio tracks yet. It's kind of out of the budget, but if we had one, I'd hit the applause button. But let's give Catt a real quick round of applause for getting her first project out the door.
Oh, thank you guys.
If you're on the chat, you can just type like asterisk, asterisk, clap, asterisk, asterisk, or use an equivalent emoji or something.
Emoji is another solution.
I'll pass it on to Chris. It seems like we're going in alphabetical order, sort of.
Okay.
It would be Catt. Oh, I'm sorry, it would be Catt.
Totally. Oh yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Catt's next.
I thought you would go through the.
Or if it's alphabetical order, Alan would be next.
Oh yeah, Alan's on here.
We skipped Alan.
I clearly need more coffee.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
I got mine too.
I think alphabetical order isn't your guys' strong suit.
No, we should be assigned numbers now. We'll just go numerical. All right, let's go with Alan. Alan, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Alan Boris, a hardware hacker here at Balena, and looking forward to the construction of this project. It looks really interesting.
He's going to add his own personal library of motivational quotes.
Yes, absolutely, and I have a lot of questions too about this, so I'll be asking some questions along the way.
Amazing. Oh, I love how someone in the chat actually did the asterisk asterisk clap instead of the emoji. Yep. If anyone in the community has questions, yeah, well played. If anyone has questions, feel free to throw them into the chat and we'll ask them as well. We'll prioritize your questions over Alan's though, because we love you, community folks.
Yep.
We love Alan too.
Thank you. No problem.
Surprised nobody has buzzed him yet. All right.
That sounds like a prompt.
We're all looking at Chris for that.
Just let me get my bookmarks one moment.
There it is.
Yeah. All right. The show's over. It's complete.
All right, Catt, you're up.
Okay, so I'm Catt. I showed up on a couple other happy hours, dropping in to bother people for fun. I am the team coordinator in the London office, so I manage the office, but also everything that the team needs, their hardware, their hacks, and things like that, and snacks, because engineers are 50% made of snacks. And I thought of this project a while ago, as Chris knows. And we took quite a while to get it off the ground and to get it going, but it's like, thanks for the claps. It was the first project I ever done, like these kind of like hack maker projects. So I was really excited because it was basically born from being inspired by what our technology could do, what our cloud could do remotely. And because I don't have like an engineering background necessarily, like I came at it at a kind of different angle. So it was built with a different intention. And so I wanted to make sure that I get to share that part of the project because I think it's quite exciting. So that's why I pop out and say hello and hang out with you guys today.
It's great to have you. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Catt. I'm going to drop the link in real quick to the blog just for anyone following along at home.
Just like everyone's been like super supportive and helping me understand all of the aspects when I like didn't really know what this was and that was, and especially like Chris built a lot of the code and everything. So super grateful for everyone's help and just the amazing team that we have to support things like this.
Cool.
Awesome. Who's up next? Is it me?
Oh no, it would be me next. Are we still doing
Okay.
alphabetical order?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
break
still
the
going
chain.
alphabetical, and none of us know the
Hello,
alphabet.
everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Chris. I'm a hardware hacker at Balena. As Kat says, I worked on this project, so I already have the thing that they're all going to build. So I'm just loitering and
3 of
watching
them?
everyone else build it. Two, just two.
You should take it apart and then rebuild it.
Yeah. I sent one to my partner already, so I've just got 2 left.
Aw. So we need that in the audio track too. The like, aw, from like the sitcom.
You've attended these like live shows in LA, haven't you, Andrew?
No,
Where they
I
play
haven't.
those noises.
I
I'm
wish.
originally from LA, so sort of.
I wish. I wish I
So,
could have caught like
yeah.
Full House or something.
They'll play these noises that you're describing very, very seamlessly.
Yeah. So is the equivalent now when people do like live streams on Instagram when like all the emojis explode from the bottom of the screen? Is
Oh
that the
yeah.
equivalent? So you're like, I sent one to my partner, like a giant heart explosion should have happened. We need to work on that.
Yeah,
We don't have that yet, but we do
I'm
have like
disappointed that
random,
we do not have that yet. We
Yeah.
missed the trick there.
but we do have random Fast and the Furious references and whatnot built in. I think our priorities might be off. All right, let's keep going. David.
Yep, David, developer advocate here at Balena. I have the easiest job out of any of you folks because you guys have to build all the cool stuff, and then typically it's Mark and I who get to show it off. So, hello everyone. Mark, I think you might be last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Good to be here again. Yeah, I'm Mark. I'm developer advocate based in Barcelona with David. I don't know. I don't have any clue about Raspberry Pi Zero, so pretty excited to see what you did, actually, Chris, Kat, and more. I have been working on some projects now, hacking a LoRa button, but yeah, that will come on next episodes, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Are we moving into our best segment of show off what's on your desk? Hang on a minute.
That's a good segue.
transition. Nice transition, Mark. Wow.
See, this is where you'd play the applause track again.
Yeah, this is the applause track.
Nice
All
work.
right. I personally do not have anything new on my desk to show off, so I can be skipped. I mean, I have the parts that we're going to use today for
What's
the
on your
build.
roof, David? It's already there. Did you cook something?
my balena fin is back on my roof. It's not in the sun yet, so it shouldn't be too hot. Let me get the URL from it.
So to give a little bit more context, now last episode, so we could see David on his flip-flops getting into a ladder to install balena fin.
Did you say lather?
Ladder.
Ladder.
Oh, I heard lather and flip-flops, and I'm
I don't
starting
know
to
what
think
kind of
like
episode.
slippery when wet parties or something.
Yeah.
Not sure what you're talking about. Kat.
My stress level spiked when I heard ladder and flip flops in the same sentence. I was like, I don't know about that.
It was flip-flops,
like a
ladder,
bad idea.
iPhone in one hand, fin in the other hand.
Nice.
It's only 42C out there right now. Let's get the dashboard.
Oh, it's
link.
chilly out today, isn't it?
So what's the
Sure.
record? What's the maximum temperature that it
The
reached?
maximum temperature that I've seen so far has been 97C air temp and 107C Raspberry Pi compute module temp.
Wow. And it's still chugging along.
It died on me once. I think it went into thermal shutdown
Right
at
on.
a certain point, and so I had to climb back up and reboot it after that. And then we did some remote upgrading of the device a couple of days ago, so I did lose my historical stats. We did a full OS upgrade on it from halfway around the world, nonetheless. And then some more experimentation. So it's only been online, I think, for about 12 or 15 hours at the moment, if you go check the dashboard there. But yeah, I think trying to look out the window, another hour or two, we should see some pretty dramatic temperature spikes.
Right on. So if folks want to get more detail on that, they need to watch episode 11, correct?
That is correct.
Cool. And if you work for any kind of like safety organization or whatever, just cover your eyes during any
you don't
ladder
wanna...
climbing. Ignore that part. Just pay attention to how cool it is to have the fin in an intensely hot environment.
Yep. All right. Who else has stuff on their desk? Chris, anything on your desk?
I normally have stuff, but I do not have stuff.
All right.
I mean, it's a big letdown, I know.
Yeah, that's okay.
All my stuff is in the workshop today.
Alan, you have anything?
I can make it up with stuff.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I have a few new toys here. This is get this in here. Got a new case for the Jetson Nano that I'm going to try out. Hopefully the next stream I will have it actually completed, but it includes as well a little M2 modem that attaches to the Nano, and then there's a place on the back here for the antennas to stick through. So it should be a nice little addition to make the Nano a little more portable, a little easier to use.
Is that hole in the top of the case for the heatsink and the fan to poke out?
Yeah, that is, and it does come with a nice little fan. It's in here.
Oh, nice.
But,
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a PWM fan apparently. So with a little software, it can accelerate it as needed.
Chris is only asking because now he's formulating how to 3D print his own competitive image, right?
Oh yeah,
I know this
absolutely.
man very well.
We'll 3D scan this image of you holding it up and
Move it closer to the webcam, please, Alan.
Do you need to capture that?
carefully rotate it on a.
Well, Chris
axis.
can't operate if there's no banana ruler.
We'll put it on a
get
turntable.
to scale. Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
It even has a little breakout for the GPIO so that they come to the side.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
I got this one on Amazon, but it seems to be a fairly generic one. They're all over the place. It also comes with some power and reset buttons, which are very helpful because the Nano does not have that natively. So looking forward to it. Yeah.
Are you going to dip it in mineral oil at some point? That's all I care about. How are you going to ultimately cool your device?
We'll see how the fan works out.
Step one.
We'll take it. Other measures if needed. This is aluminum, though, by the way. I don't know if you can print. Can you print in aluminum?
Oh, we can just CNC machine some aluminum.
No big deal. Chris will just CNC it, of course.
Yeah, that would take me about 6 weeks, maybe a year to print something like this. So I just ordered it online to streamline the operation.
Chris, do you have a CNC?
No.
Okay. I was like, wait.
He means not yet.
Yeah, sorry, it's on order.
No, because I know what's on order in this company.
Hashtag order CNC machine.
No.
All right, Kat, what do you have on your desk? Anything?
Okay, a couple random things that I picked out from the office, and I'll use it as an opportunity to ask you guys what it is as well. We have like a couple of these unicorn bats.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really sure what do you guys do with this, because there's like a couple of them.
What is this?
Have a disco.
It's for a disco.
I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Is that what it does?
We have like, and there's also like
It's like,
Hydro.
It's like an RGB LED matrix, isn't it?
Oh,
I think I
fun.
don't know how many was there?
8x4.
8x4. So you could have a disco with that.
It sits on a Pi 0, 2, 3, A plus or B plus. So I guess I have this mini disco thing.
Hey, they're just LEDs, right? They're not buttons as well.
No, there's no buttons on it. They're RGB LEDs.
Cool.
But there's a number of them, so I imagine they could make like a whole wall or something.
Yeah, or you can do like little gauges.
Don't know what
perhaps.
these boys were thinking.
Yeah, you could use them as like a status indicator for something, like like for your balena sense, you could have it change color depending on how good the air quality is, or have like a little bar charts maybe.
Makes sense.
Or a smaller version of what's behind Alan.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wouldn't have the buzzer though, so it wouldn't be as fun.
No. I feel like every time you mention that, it's like my duty to press it and make it buzz.
To make it buzz. Okay, so so the second item that I have, I was cleaning right.
It's an amazing
Cleaning-
machine. It is an amazing machine.
Cleaning out a corner. And then I had just pinged this in our virtual office too, but have you guys seen this before? Maybe Chris, because you've been around longer.
Whoa.
Is that a
What
piece
is
of a
that?
beast tile?
It is.
Okay.
What is the beast tile for folks who don't know?
Yeah. What is that thing?
That's okay. I'll go.
Yeah, you're the one who said you know what it is.
I thought you were going to
Chris.
explain it.
No, because I just found this and I'm like, can I get rid of this guy?
So,
That's my
so
job.
the beast is a project that Carlo was working on, I think, and there's multiple versions of it, but ultimately it's a Raspberry Pi based cluster. And I think like the most recent one had like 288 Pis,
Wow.
like all in one like mounting system, all with their own
It's like a
high
column?
power supplies, switches. Yeah. So I have one piece of it, which is like a 4x3 Pi array, and that looks like an even more granular piece of that. You've got like one column of one piece, and it's missing one.
This
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
already starting to take it apart. There was more. I already took a lot apart, but I was
Yeah.
like, okay, David wants to know what's around. These things are around.
Yeah.
Um,
So I have my beast tile running Fold for COVID still, so that's like 12 devices added right there. They're just churning away.
now you're giving it away that it's all our devices.
I think people know like 17 of them are mine.
What's the number? 17?
I think so. Thereabouts. Maybe.
Okay. Another item I have.
What else have we got?
Chris, you remember I had sent you a NanoPi. And
Yes.
for whatever reason, it didn't work with whatever project you wanted to do. So that was like this one.
Mhm.
But after we had that discussion with our other hardware team member, I found this and I realized this is a NanoPi, isn't it?
Is it?
Neo
Mini Shield for Neo
Core-
Core 2.
Core 2 is a NanoPi. Yes. Yes, it is.
Right.
It's just
Right.
a different NanoPi, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple different, well, there's actually a lot of different ones that they make. The Core, if I remember correctly, I would have to go look it up. The Core, I think, is just the SOM, and you have to break out over the GPIO. It's like literally just the processor and memory. I don't think there's any exposed ports.
No, that's right. It doesn't have Wi-Fi or anything like that. The core.
Yep. Yeah, the Neo 2 is a smaller device, but does have some ports on it, I believe. Again, going off memory.
Yeah, this one has a couple ports, like USB and Ethernet, and then
Yeah.
like a power or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking whether this was would have satisfied what Chris you were trying to build before. But I remember you are also looking for a really small size.
Yeah. I ended up just ordering one. Where did it even go? Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's not
Let's see it.
strictly on my desk. It's just in a drawer. This one.
Ooh. Oh, that's right. Remember that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to hopefully be a super cool balena sound device one day.
Someday.
The bottom piece of that, I think, is the
That's the Neo Air. 'Cause
yeah,
it's
and
got
you have
Wi-Fi,
a hat on top of it. What's on top of it? Is that a DAC
and that's
hat?
their DAC hat. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's super cool. It'll make like a nice little cube.
I have
Yeah,
that in the cube version.
Oh, you have the little aluminum case, don't you? Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a NanoPi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oops.
I feel like we brought the ultimate what's on your desk guest because Kat's literally sitting at a desk full of gear.
Yeah,
There's
It's gonna be the whole
I just
episode.
Yeah.
picked 4 things.
we're never going to
Of-
be able
of
to
the
top
100.
that one.
Okay, the last one.
Last one. Let's check it
There's
out.
there's a lot of these little kits around.
Are there mints in them? those kids?
Yeah, what is
They look
that?
like a
Right?
lot.
It seems like it, right?
Who cares about the hardware? I just want some
Yeah.
minutes.
I wonder if you guys played around with these kinds of things and what you can build with these things.
Oh, sweet! It's like a little jerky wire LED like goodie bag.
Or resistors. But it says it goes with the Explorer hat, but I just picked it up and thought it might instigate some discussion.
It's immensely frustrating when you can't find like a spare wire that you need. So I wouldn't mind having a couple of those like around the house, so you don't have to go to the garage and go rummage. At least in my setup, I don't have all my gear like sitting right next to me.
And anything special that you guys have built with these things?
I've used a couple of those for like a newbie LED alerter for sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you could build an LED alerter with those parts, but everything in there.
I'll be sure to come to you next, Alan.
There a buzzer in.
With a lot of Explorer hat pro
Thank you,
kits.
Chris.
Hashtag LED alerter.
But those are all great parts for any hardware hacker or anyone who needs to temporarily test something out. You're always looking for, especially those resistors to drive an LED. So
Oh, okay.
nice kit.
What we
These,
need is a bot that joins chat so
these
people
ones.
in chat can say like buzz or something, and it buzzes
Ooh.
Alan's thing.
Ooh.
Webhook to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
if any of you community folks are StreamYard experts and can bring that vision to life, start working on that.
We can add community interactivity to the stream.
Yeah. Cool. Well, without further ado, let's move on. I think folks are really wanting to see this build in action. But before we kick it off, I know Kat, this is more than just a project for you, right? There's a really cool story that she told me, at least personally, and I'd love for you to kind of tell the community, you know, the big why behind Inkyshot, because not only is it a super neat little e-ink project, but there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like, as I mentioned before, like I'm not like a hardware hacker. And I barely knew what IoT was before I even joined this company. So you kind of get the sense of what it is, you know, like when you go like, oh, you know, what's balena, you know, when I was looking into our product and everything, you kind of get like, okay, like it's a platform that you can manage IoT devices on. But in my mind, it was kind of like, I guess more like, what would it be? Like the AWS IoT, you know, where like you could see like what temperature it is, like kind of like what you see on Grafana or something. Like in my mind, that was what our product was. And then I guess like I was trying to like figure out how to do it on my own, but I couldn't really. So then I asked my onboarding buddy Cameron to help me and just like do a demo of like very easily putting a device onto the cloud, right? And so he was like, okay, we can try with this. We put on a Sense hat and on a Raspberry Pi 3. And he was like, I'll just demo this with this like little game that I made called Snake, right? And so we went through the flow, and I've used Terminal before. So I was like, okay, but I thought it was just to control the things on your own computer. So when I see like this Pi like sitting away from me, and like my computer is not connected to it at all, and then suddenly like the code that was on my computer ended up on the Pi, I was like, wait, what? Like that is not physically possible, you know? I was just really, really surprised. And the funny thing was, the first thing I said to Cameron was, do you know how many bad things you could do with that? And he was like, do you know how many good things you could do with that? You know, I was like, no, you're not understanding. This is like really, really weird to me. Like, how did that? He's like, it went through the Wi-Fi. And I just couldn't believe it. And like for the next few days, my mind was just absolutely blown. I was like, wait, there's so many things we could do with this. And like, I guess like I understand the use case with like industrial IoT and things like that, and the clients that we do have, you know, with smart homes and things like that. But when I looked at how it would change my life knowing about this technology, I thought about, obviously, like me and my family all live on different corners of the world, and I'm very, very close with my sister. So I said like, well, that thing could be sitting in my sister's room, and I could be like, hey, I just pushed a game onto your Sense hat, like try it out. So that was like the initial inspiration. And then maybe like 2 months later, I was ordering hack hardware for also my onboarding buddy, Cameron. And he ordered one of the Inky Shots he wanted to make like a bike computer for it. And when I saw it, I was just like, oh, this is perfect. Like if I could just even make it display like a little, hello, like I'm thinking of you, it seemed like so much more like exciting than if I just texted her and she would go into like Messenger or WhatsApp and be like, oh, my sister's thinking of me, yay. So this would just like display something, and it was much more intimate than just a text. So it wasn't really I was trying to figure out how to do digital signage or display. It was really about how I could use Balena to connect with people more and find ways to make use of this like super, super amazing software where like it doesn't even need to be in my vicinity, and I could update the code on it. And so I'm hoping like that people kind of see this angle of what Balena and this kind of software can do for us, and how like, especially now, like, almost a year later and all of these things coming up, how we have to be more remote, probably be a little more deglobalized, but how can we still connect with each other and make use of what technology we have to bring us closer together? So that's kind of the backstory of how Inkyshot came. And then all the stuff was like me and Chris hacking about for months on it. So we've gotten it to a place where both of us really, really like it. And mine is with my sister, and I'm constantly pushing updates to it from here to her in Taiwan.
That's amazing.
That is super cool.
For those
Thank
of you
guys.
just joining, we will be live building together, or for those of us who have the parts, the Inky Shot project that Catt just walked through the big story of why it was created. If you want a different way to follow along, we in the chat we posted the link to the blog post. It's our most recent one too, so if you just go to balena.io/blog, you'll see it there as well. It's a little quicker way if you don't want to type in, or yeah, anyways, I don't know what I'm saying. I haven't had enough coffee, so let's move on. For those of you who have the gear, feel free to let the community know what they need to build one of these things. Let's go with maybe David, since he clearly has all the gear ready, laying on his desk. What do you got there, man?
Yeah, so I've got the parts. So this project is actually a really simple build, which kind of like, as Catt was just describing, I think probably comes from the fact that she wasn't attacking the problem from like a hardware and technology perspective, but more of like what she really was seeking to accomplish. So it turns out all you really need for this is a Raspberry Pi. I'm using a Raspberry Pi Zero in this case simply because of the sheer size of it, but a Pi 3 Model B. Chris, does a Pi 4 work as well? I think it should be fine.
I think the Pi 4 may have some complications.
Okay.
We did prototype it on the Pi 4, but it was doing a little funky thing.
There's some weird, funny business with the Python packages on the Pi 4, so it might work and take ages to build, but it will definitely work on the 3. Yeah.
Okay, so a standard Pi 3B would work as well. All right, and then this here is, rotate a little bit so we can get a better look at it, an Inkyshot, which is a small e-ink display, and on the back of it, it's got the GPIO socket already built in. It's kind of hard to see. I'm trying to get a better angle, but
that's solid.
So, yep, what you can essentially do is literally just snap it right on top, squeeze it together, and you end up with a really cool little display here. So, of course, the other part you would need is going to be an SD card. That's a given for a project like this, which is
David,
which is required for the Pi. Yep, go ahead.
So we don't freak out Konstantinos and Chris. Make sure you pull off the screen protector. Unlike mine.
This
don't
here?
Yeah,
no, we don't.
then...
No. Those always remain on.
Oh,
you definitely don't.
But
leave
there'll be a little
plastic on
square
and
on.
then take photos everywhere.
I don't know. I don't know if I can
screen
bring
protector, right?
Yeah,
I guess. We were
I
having
don't
this
know if I
discussion the
can
other day, right?
do
We
it.
were like, how many people keep them
It's-
on? And I definitely inadvertently keep them on because I just
Yeah,
forget.
no.
I just don't think about it.
No. And now I've got an air bubble in it. Thanks a lot, Kat. Thanks.
Sorry.
Oh,
This
I'd be so
displeases me.
mad if there were an air bubble
Just
in there.
tear the Band-Aid off, man.
you think?
Just rip it off.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We'll do
Yep. There you
See,
go.
Chris,
Oh,
we
see.
got it.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yes.
The satisfaction, right? It's
Yeah.
like an Asmir video, right? Like,
Yeah.
it. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm so disoriented. I don't even know what to do. Final pieces for this build are the cool case that we've 3D printed here. Now, this design is uploaded, so those of you with 3D printers out there can grab the STL file. It's in the blog post, and you can use a couple of little screws, or I think these are M4 size hex nuts to attach them together. And I'll assemble all this in a moment. One
on the-
added feature. Oh, go ahead, Kat. Go ahead.
sorry. I was just saying it's on the assets in the GitHub,
Cool.
right, Chris?
Oh yeah, that's right. And there's
The
like 3
STL
different
files,
versions
yeah.
as well.
Hey,
So
David,
there's-
quick,
Right.
There's that
question for you
version
now.
there, and then
Oh.
there's another version where you don't need to relocate the USB port, so it'll just go in the top. And then there's a different style that also has the USB port on the back. So there's 3 different ones.
That's what I was just going to say. So we've got this little tiny PCB here that allows us to relocate the power supply port of the Pi Zero over to the side of the case.
Nice.
It's a pretty cheap little part, and it does require some soldering, though, onto the back of the Pi. I did not bring my soldering iron today because I'm now actually really embarrassed by my soldering skills compared to Chris's. There's a video in the blog post that we linked already into the chat there. There's an embedded YouTube build video that Chris put together, and his soldering game is incredible. So I cannot compete with that. So I'm not doing it.
I mean, thanks for the compliments. I don't think it's
You
that
mean
good.
soldering, David?
Yeah, soldering. So
Nice soldering
Hey,
game.
Dave, quick question from the community.
Yeah.
What's the price of the Inky hat, more roughly?
The fat, it's a
Inky hat,
partial
sorry.
hat.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Is that what the
I think
P stands
it's
for?
9. Yeah, partial hat.
Yeah,
never
the
knew that.
baby versions.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
like the
had
automation hat.
Yeah. The unicorn. This one too is also a
Piece
partial
partial.
hat. I think it's like 19 pounds. It's either like 19 or 20. It's like
I think it's
19 or
21.
22. 21. The
And then the
colored
colored
one.
one is
Oh yeah,
like
the colored one's like
23.
24.
Okay,
Yeah,
24.
Yeah. Something like it's like 20 pounds,
Yeah.
give or take. Yeah, so I guess that's around $25, maybe. Around. And then the Pi Zero will be like 9 pounds. So maybe like $12 or something.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool,
So
cool.
it's not a terribly expensive build overall. And
For the emotional benefit, it's really not.
all right. So let me see if I do a quick screen share as well, because I'm going to start the build. Let's see. Share screen.
We are working on adding support for the WaveShare e-paper screens as well, and they're a bit cheaper.
Nice. Can you get them as that small as well?
Yeah, they look almost the same.
Oh, right on.
They're around the
that's-
same
that's one.
size.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it to work now.
Well, it's just running the demo, but
Right.
and they're about
Um,
13 pounds.
But the case won't work with it, right?
That's right. Yeah. The case won't fit.
It's a little different size. Yeah.
Do we support the color in the color version of the Inky?
We do not. Well,
no.
the
Chris is
screen
our
will work,
color.
but the color isn't utilized yet.
Okay,
Right.
So it will just look the same as a black and white one.
gotcha.
So in that picture there on the screen of David's, where there's 3, 2 of those are colored screens, but you can't tell.
That one right there.
Yeah.
All right. So who's building this today? Just
Well,
David?
I'm certainly going to build it.
Right on.
I don't know if anyone else has the parts on their desk or not.
No,
Chris,
go for
Take
it.
one
You
of the
do.
bits. I have one. I could take the bits.
Yeah. If you're the only one, feel free to roll forward, David.
Yeah,
and,
let's do it.
kick
Let's
off.
do it. Here's the video, by the way, that I was referring to where my soldering skills are humiliated by Chris's. So to get going on this project, we've actually made it super, super easy. We've got this new feature called Deploy with Balena, which is just a big button to click and not even have to worry about doing what we used to have to do in the past for a git clone and then a Balena push using the Balena CLI. So knowing that I've got my parts already on the desk, I'm literally just going to click a button, Deploy with Balena. And it will open up. I am already logged in. So it's going to bring me to a create and deploy, which is pre-populated with the name Inkyshot, but hold on, that's not capitalized. I need proper capitalization there. And default device type, I am going to choose a Raspberry Pi V1/0/0W, since that's what I've got on my desk. And I'm going to click Create and Deploy. And what it's doing now is going to actually automatically go out and grab from the GitHub repo the code and start a build in the background on the Balena Cloud build servers. Chris, if you want to grab that GitHub repo URL and drop it into chat for folks, so they can see the code there. But ultimately, all I did was click a button. It's grabbing the GitHub repo, and I can see that a build has already kicked off here up at the top, building release. Go ahead, Kat, you had a question?
Quick question. Yeah. When you were dragging down, there was like Pi 0 and then Pi 0W.
Yeah.
Does the Pi 0 work if it doesn't have wireless?
You need a dongle, right?
You'd have
For
to
internet
have
connectivity.
Yeah, you'd have to have some kind of connectivity in order to get the container to the device in the first place. And then for any inspirational quote updates, I think the API that we're using updates daily. So it would not be, if without connectivity, it would not be able to just sort of randomly cycle in a new quote. Or if you were pushing your own text to the e-ink display, again, you'd still need some connectivity there. So a Pi 0 without wireless, yeah, you'd have to either add a USB dongle, Wi-Fi adapter, or a USB dongle Ethernet adapter.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to, that build I think may actually have completed already in the time
Sweet.
that we were talking, so that's pretty cool. So now I'm going to add a device, and it's already pre-populated with my Pi 0, Balena OS. I'm going to use, I'll leave it on production, it's fine. Chris, it doesn't matter, does it? If I...
Nope, I've got all mine on production apart from the Pi 3 that I use for developing. Because it means the benefit you get is that you can update the OS over the air.
Yeah, now let's see here.
All right, everybody, pay close attention to what his Wi-Fi password is.
Well, I set up a temporary one, knowing that Phil.
Oh, nice. Wait, Chris, when I was watching your video, I was like, why would you just let people see that?
Yeah, you always need to set up a temporary.
I'm pretty sure there's no one within like a 5-mile radius of here, so
That's true. For folks
you
just
didn't
joining,
like blur it out, you know?
For folks just joining, we are doing a live build of Catt's Inky Shot project. Right now, we're on the step of deploying the code and adding a device. Feel free to throw any questions that you might have into the chat. They could be about Inky Shot itself, or even about our platform. We've got plenty of folks ready to answer questions and whatnot. Or if you're building along, just shout out, what you dig about the project.
It sounds like iShot JR may have been the actual, maybe the first community member to get it built. Sounds like his is already
Ooh.
Probably running. Yeah, he was the very first comment. If you scroll all the way up to the
we
top of
will.
the comments.
There he is. Or there they are.
He's coming online now, so his should be up and running already.
Nice
All right,
work.
so our download. Let's grab that SD card.
So David, you can check to see the status of the build if you go to releases on the left there. So you should see your build is finished.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Live debugging.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Live debugging.
Well, like this is where it gets fun now.
Oh yeah. Someone called it out too in the chat. They were like, just do it live. Here you go. Live modify. You got your wish. Maybe it wasn't the same context, but you got your wish, my friend. It's worse when no one says anything and it's just dead silence.
Yeah, it's because everyone's going, what could that be?
What is this game? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like our boy Jason Koo from Always AI, we were like chatting them up and he was doing the live.
Yeah.
Remember he was doing the live code? It was just he was feeling it and then got his YMCA project working.
I know. I can't even believe he
That
did
was some
that.
smooth live coding.
Do you think it might be the SD card?
Nah, I haven't even made it to the SD card yet.
I would try clicking the button again.
Let's give it another go.
And then maybe to keep the show rolling forward, do we just want to add David to an existing project?
I mean, well, he can he can boot up his device with that OS, even if it's the wrong app, and then we can move it over to move it over to the working one afterwards.
Exactly. Cool.
So it looked like the build failed when it was trying to download the Python packages. So maybe one of the packages isn't available right now, perhaps. Don't know.
Uh-oh.
It's all good, my friends. Yeah.
I remember when this would happen.
High five, whoever did that.
Yeah.
When this kind of thing would happen to me early on, and I'd be like working with Chris, and I'd be like, "Oh no!" And Chris is so calm. I'd be like, "Oh no!"
I had an amazing appreciation for our Delta updates for containers because one of my little Pi Zero 404'd one of the containers, and there were 3 of them, and it grabbed the other 2. I was like, "Oh, I gotta wait. Is this gonna start over?" It's like, no way, it's not gonna start over. I'll just pick up where it left off because it's doing them in little increments. I loved it. I mean, the Pi Zero still takes forever, but at least we don't have to start over. Hey, success! What was the hands up for? Was Chris just put his hands up?
I was just proving that it wasn't me doing the buzzer.
Yeah, it's not Chris doing the buzzing. I have a strange feeling it's Sahaj buzzing it from halfway around the world.
Once again, the power of balena. Perhaps it's not a motivational quote being sent around the world, but an annoying buzz.
Yeah.
Well done, internet.
That might be Sahaj eating dinner, watching us on the big screen, and buzzing from India to Philadelphia.
A couple of them are me. It's trying to break up the tension.
Nice. Hey, I have a question. So I don't have an e-ink display. I do have a small 4-inch touchscreen. Will it still work? Or what are my options there? Bummer.
Sorry, I just shot you down there, didn't I?
You did. I'm used to it.
So the project is set up. It uses the libraries specific to using that Inky, the Inkyshot display from Pimoroni. So right now it just works with that particular display. As I mentioned before, we were looking at adding the WaveShare display support, but probably not the 4-inch LCD.
Okay.
Someone is PRing. Someone from Reddit is PRing for the WaveShare.
Oh, really?
Excellent.
Nice.
David,
Yeah.
you should download.
Thank
the new
you.
operating system.
Download the new one.
Yeah, because you have a new app.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you can just move the device over and then you don't have to download it again.
Didn't take that long, but yeah. All right, I've already got this one here. It's fine. So
We
what
can
I did
demonstrate.
was-
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, since I already downloaded the OS, put my SD card in the laptop, and we'll start a flash with Etcher. And what's this I see here? Build my own multi-room audio system. Huh, what's that all about? Might have to check that out sometime.
I can't tell if you're trolling us.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that before.
It was the company that bought Etcher, and then put ads on
Wow.
it.
Oh, geez.
Don't open up that can of worms.
No, don't go there.
Where's the technical difficulty screen?
Yeah. Oh, you mean this one? No, you
Just
mean
clarifying
not that
that's
one.
not the accurate story.
No,
With
that's
the-
not the technical difficulty screen.
it should be.
Yeah, with this banner. There we go. There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, there
Perfect.
it is.
Oh, that's wonderful.
we are peak IoT happy hour now. Peak.
All right. So if this doesn't work, let's do the backup route just so we can get to
I think
getting a motivational quote.
This is going to work. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
I like that attitude.
So so what happened there was, so we hit the deploy with balena button and the build failed. So David hit the button again and created a second app where it looked like the build succeeded. But of course, the OS image was downloaded from the first app. So when we boot up this device, it's going to appear in the non-working app. But in the control panel, we can simply move that device over to the working app, and then all should be good.
Power user moves.
Yep. Right.
I actually appreciate that because I don't have to get up. My tower's above on a shelf, and I don't have to get up and like reflash SD cards over and over again. Just move them from project to
move
project.
Same for me.
Yeah.
When I'm doing support or something like that, I have one device and I'll just move it around to different apps depending on what I want to test.
Hey, now that I think about it, I wonder how quick my internet is today. Normally, I have the slowest dial-up internet. I guess we're going to find out how long this takes to come online in a moment as well. All right.
Mhm.
So we can see the SD card is just about done. Come on, unmount. There we go. Flash is complete. Go ahead and share that on Twitter. Got the SD card.
We have a meta balena question to answer while you add your device.
Oh,
here.
yeah? What's that?
Amen asks, which language do you guys use for balena platform development?
I certainly do not know the answer to that question.
JS?
I too am not a member of the platform team.
It's
Chris, you're in?
mostly JavaScript or TypeScript, isn't it?
That's
yeah,
right.
and some coffee.
Depending on which aspect, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, we've got some LED activity here. Out of the way.
Exciting.
We're over on
Boot.
Inky Shot, the original one with the failed release. So once this thing boots up, we should actually see it come online
Yep.
here.
Anyone joining
So-
right now is probably like, why are those 5 people just like staring at that
Sitting
Yeah.
and staring.
thing booting up?
Yeah.
I still
It's
really
like over here,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh. Wait, I'm not doing it right. There we go.
Ooh.
The picture
like-
that Chris made for the Inky Fat.
Oh, the
the
modified,
GitHub.
yeah,
Yes, the modified.
the
Where
crudely
the octopus
modified
says,
stock.
I am
thing.
inspired.
Can you rotate it, David, so that when the code actually shows up, it's readable?
Yeah. There we go.
Other way,
that's
other way.
upside down. Hang on.
There you go. Ish.
Yeah.
It's probably fine. There you go.
Still-
We want to enjoy this moment with you. Kind of like how you tore the screen protector off your.
Still upset about that. I'm still so upset about that.
Ask me your video.
It has to happen.
Inky Shot channel.
All right, nothing in my dashboard yet.
Takes a bit of.
see
I
here.
remember the first time when we were prototyping
Oh,
it, Chris. I remember how excited I was.
Yeah, it takes a while on a Pi Zero.
I was like, oh my god, it changed.
Well, it hasn't even shown up actually in the first application that I deployed yet. So it's not even really online yet, let alone gotten a container.
Can we see your screen, David? So
Yeah, where did it go? It was...
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There you go.
See what we get. It's like
Drum roll. Oh,
tense
see, that's
moment.
another audio track. We need a drum roll.
Yeah.
Although in this context, the drum roll would be rolling for like 3-4 minutes.
Oh no. Oh no.
or 15.
I think in the
Oh,
meantime,
no.
what I found super entertaining the other day when we were going through this project was Chris reading off random quotes from the API.
There it is. There it is. It's fine. You don't have to
Oh,
listen to
it's
me
up.
reading quotes.
I like that business motivation.
We're all just like staring and like so quiet. Like,
Yeah. Well, this is
there,
exciting.
wait, go back to your thing so you can see it refreshed.
No, because
Well,
this is on the wrong
I
app,
have to
remember?
move
This is on the
Yeah, we gotta move
Oh,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That
we're going to
gave me
show
a
off
bit of a-
some more
Yeah.
power user functionality now.
Oh, pay
Okay.
attention here. Hashtag power user moves.
Quiet Snow. At least it gave a good name.
Yeah, I always get like aggressive ones. It seems
What's
like
your
the
most
random
aggressive
name
one?
generator. Yeah, I get all the like aggressive
I don't think
adjectives
I've ever
and
gotten
nouns.
aggressive ones, but
Like
what I'm gonna do here.
burning flesh or something like that.
Oh my
that's-
God.
that's not one of them. But yeah, I'm just trying to evoke the feel that I get from the names that seem to show up, and then I rename it to something boring like Andrew 1.
All right, so what I'm going to do here, I clicked on the device details, and we've got this down arrow that gives a couple of more options. I'm going to select Move Device, and it's going to ask me where do I want to move it to. Now, it already knows, because it's a Pi 0, it's a ARM 32-bit processor. It looks like this is the only one that's actually compatible with it, so Inkyshot -2. So I'll move it over to there, and I got to confirm it.
Am I the only one that just copy and paste at this point?
I do too.
Yeah.
It's all right. Everyone's got their own way, Chris. Their own method to their madness.
Uh-oh, now I got another error. Boy, it really does not like me today.
Unique
Maybe the-
key constraint violated. That's a good one.
Yeah, just try it again.
Try again.
Live
let's try-
debugging,
you know what?
everyone.
Hold
Let's
on.
do this.
I bet this is the problem. I bet you do have to do a copy paste. Maybe that's the trick.
Let's see.
Moving one device. Oh, get out of here. That's
There
not
you
the
go.
trick.
Wow.
You can type it in too.
Well, Chris.
It's gonna still take a while from here now, because now it's gonna download the containers, isn't it? So yeah, there we go. So it's updating. now.
Yeah.
Also, I was saying, well, actually, my question is for Kat then. Kat, I know that, toward the end of your project guide, you reference a couple different kinds of quote catalogs or models that people can use. One's like business motivational quotes, the other are just like general inspirational ones. Like, how many are there that people can access?
Oh, on the API?
Yeah, they want.
On the
How many different categories
There's
are
like
there?
six to 10 of them.
It's pretty cool.
There's like a funny one, a love one, a management one. The general one is pretty good though.
Yeah.
I would say it pulls pretty good quotes.
What's been your favorite one so far?
Favorite,
Quote.
like which one or
Quote of the day, yeah.
quote that I saw? I actually don't use it for the quotes. I like send messages to my sister. Like I pull out quotes myself.
Oh, right on. Like, wake up.
This is like a more curated quote approach, isn't it?
Yeah, because like I want to say, like, yeah, if I were lazy, I just delete the variable so that it can automatically pull the quote. But yeah, I'll like look into like some like poetic book and like pick out like those very deep quotes for my sister.
Ooh.
Or like when I like shared the blog post with my parents and then like they wanted to see it, I like sent them a message as well. So yeah, I like using the message feature because that was kind of like the original way I was using it. But the inspirational quotes are pretty good. I would say that they're quite
Yeah, I use them.
life.
So, well, the way I
relevant.
use it is so I have a device or two devices in my house, like there's one, and I have one on my nightstand by my bed, and my partner has one as well. And the fact that we use the quote of the day feature means that we all see or both of us see the same quote at the same time every day. So it's kind of like it's a connection thing. Even though we're in different parts of the world right now, you can see the same thing.
Yeah,
I
and
like
you can
what
like
Kat-
focus
oh.
on the same thing.
Yeah. I like what you said earlier, Kat, because when you text someone, it's like, oh, my wife texts me, read that, then email, then Instagram, then email again, then Google Chat, then Twitter. It's like you have that, your habit that you have with your phone. At least that's my habit. Now you all know it. You can bypass this, and it's a much more special thing.
Yeah.
You mean you
yeah.
don't get sucked into social media by looking at the Inky Shot?
No, until you
That's
add that
true.
integration.
Oh no, let's not.
You didn't hear that, community. Please don't add Twitter integration to Inkyshot.
Let's keep it pure.
Oh,
Here,
wow,
yeah.
wait a minute. What a great idea.
No,
Phil's-
what an anxiety-inducing idea.
If Phil's watching, Mr. Phil with gigabit up and down internet, he's probably laughing right now.
Oh,
because
he is
this
absolutely
super slow.
laughing.
We need Phil
Is-
to do the big upload
Yeah,
kind of
all
thing,
live
projects.
builds need to be. I don't know actually why it is. I mean, clearly
I mean,
I'm
it's the
live
Pi Zero.
streaming.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
the Pi- it is.
The chip.
Yeah.
It's like a couple versions behind of Wi-Fi, right? Like the
Yeah, this is totally normal.
This is normal. Is this
Yes.
slow pace? Yeah.
David, weren't you going to ask everybody's opinion of the Pi Zero? I think I saw that.
I think now is probably a great time to ask what everybody's opinion of the Pi Zero is.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
I personally find it quite slow to download updates. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has had that experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was my props to our Delta updates for containers. Save my bum. Otherwise, I would have been like having to start that thing over from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool
it's-
form factor, but like, I think if you just can you use like is USB B C? No, it's not C. It's like the
It's a type
micro.
2. Yeah, micro.
Regular.
So if you have a dongle for like Ethernet, that probably help. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think it would help the speed though. I
Oh,
think
it's still
that-
bottlenecked by the chip.
I think so. I don't know if you agree, Chris, but even with Ethernet, I think it would still be slow to
Yeah, probably.
update.
What will help is in the future when we serve preloaded OS images, so they don't have this initial download. That will really help.
Yeah.
Alan,
So
what
like
do
we did
you-
for COVID.
It's so hot. I gotta upgrade my internet. My internet is fine. I'm live streaming, sharing the screen. The internet is fine. I'm thinking this is the Pi Zero. But
You have so
it's
much
okay.
empathy for your internet.
I sure do.
We should have done the cooking show effect where you have one pre-baked right below you.
How's
Oh,
my
So-
You
my
know,
balena?
yeah. That's
how's my
what I
balena
almost did for
sense?
balena sound, but it was fast. Sorry, David. What was that?
How's my fin looking out there?
Anybody
So,
looking at
bring it
the
up.
fin temp? Yeah.
Let's find out. Back to applications while that's going.
Any
Where's
guesses?
rooftop?
Centigrade, Fahrenheit.
I'm going to say
This is in Arizona. In the
80
sun.
Celsius.
Trying to see if it's in the sun yet.
I'm gonna go 90.
Divine Frost is a
Because it's
perfect.
already noon over there.
Yeah, it's so appropriately named Divine Frost.
90 centigrade. Here we go. Come on, baby.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you cheat?
See,
Did you
when
already
the-
have
No,
it
I
on?
did not cheat. No, I
Did
did not
you-
cheat. That's pure honesty.
Must have just the sun must have.
I
just
believe
crossed.
Chris when he said it's honest.
Y'all
Because
got a
like you
glimpse
give
of
it like 3 seconds, it's going to change again, isn't it? It's going to go up.
And can you check CPU temperature? Because this is a sensor.
Oh, that's just the board.
This is the BME 680, so that's the air temp.
Oh, okay.
It is
Is
absolutely
that the one I
not.
sent you, David?
Yes, it is.
Oh, a pressure sensor
maybe-
with the
okay.
little context there. Can you
Yep.
dig into that a little bit? That's interesting.
Um,
Like what tells it it's stormy?
I don't know.
Is
I
it stormy
don't
over
know.
there?
It is
you,
absolutely not stormy.
Sun
Yeah.
Right now, though.
Did you put the altitude in, David?
I have not modified the application since we deployed it. So yeah,
Okay.
I think we
That's
think
interesting.
we still have it there. Device variable.
Because that would throw
altitude.
the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
111.
okay. Yeah, that would throw the pressure reading off. It's
Yeah, I
like
don't know why
the old school barometers that you used to get where they used to like have a needle and they used to say like stormy and rainy and like it's not accurate. It's
got
just
it.
a sort of
Little
a
throwback.
gauge. Yeah.
I like that.
Let's see here. Where
Alan, I was going to ask
is-
you earlier, what's your opinion on the Pi Zero?
Oh, I love the Pi Zero. I mean, it's just
too,
it's
yeah.
a great size, and I even like the one without
Price?
the headers. Price is great, and
That is
why must we all be so impatient? Yes, it's a little slow, but
but it's like yay big,
Tell
you
him,
know?
Alan.
yeah,
You tell him.
exactly.
What we need to do is have Alan and Tomas here. Tomas has a special fondness for the Pi. Very
The
color.
Pi Zero.
Pi Zero, yeah. That he'll explain in very colorful Spanish.
We're at the top of the
I would
hour,
like to hear
too.
that.
Mark, Spanish, come on.
But Mark doesn't have the
Explain the
fervor
Pi in
that
Spanish.
Tomas has.
Actually, he's
I do.
Argentinian, not Spanish, so that's different.
Oh, sorry. My fault.
Let's go see what the CPU temp on that fin is.
But you had
Divine.
3% humidity there, David. That's really dry, isn't it?
That sounds right. For the desert.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow.
I like this idea. In the next episodes, cooking on the fin with your host. Can you cook an egg on your enclosure?
You must be able to.
Cook like a whole dish.
Not the enclosure, because the enclosure is ABS plastic. I
Aw.
don't think would get hot enough.
On your car?
Do we have? Well, I could easily cook on the car, and that's not even a
You
challenge.
do that though?
Well, I don't normally cook eggs or hamburgers on my car. No, I typically cook them, in the oven or a grill or something like that. But you absolutely
Solar
could
powered,
cook on the
you
car.
know?
You could cook on the vehicle if you'd like to. Sure.
We'll need to get the aluminum fin case going,
I
right?
was just going to say, if we
Right.
have the aluminum case for it, we most certainly could.
Steam hands.
Yeah.
All right,
definitely.
David.
So it looks like the CPU temp is only 87 degrees Celsius at the moment. So that's not that bad. I did grab a screenshot of it. Let's see. This was so this is a screenshot. Yeah. That's
Hazardous.
yeah. 97
0% humidity.
And just
Wow.
it just
Oh my goodness.
that
Here.
was 3 days ago, I think.
Real quick, can we
Oh
get
my
tabs on
gosh.
the Inkyshot upload?
Let's go back to
Or downloading.
Inkyshot.
Yeah.
Back
I can't live in
to-
0% humidity. I'm from Taiwan.
What is it like in Taiwan?
It's very humid.
Yeah.
Like you have to take out you can't line dry your clothes sometimes. 'Cause
Dang.
it's too wet.
Well, we are
Well
only
done.
at 64%. What do you think? You want to call it? You want to pronounce it dead, or we hang out?
No,
We're a
no,
couple
Let's
minutes-
see it.
No, yeah.
We're a couple
Yeah.
minutes over. Well, I'm trying to respect people's
In-
time.
in
We're a
the- in
few
the
minutes over.
In the meantime, and we can just flip over to see what it looks like. Like Chris, why don't you show off your
Yeah.
what you got going on there?
Your
Just so
quote.
people
But
can
that's
see it.
What's the
like
quote of the
spoiling
day?
the surprise.
But we'll see
I can't
David.
show you now.
All right, deal. We won't do it. We'll wait. We're this far along. I mean, what is it at?
Yeah.
I can't read that number.
66.
66%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2/3 of the way.
Almost
'Cause
there.
you
Well, let's
see,
talk
like-
about the other
Oh, it's only
features.
one
build
that-
video. In the build video, I cheated and it updates really fast, and then it dings when it gets to the end.
That's true. Well, oven
Yeah.
timer ding. We don't have the luxury of 500% speed.
No, I think I needed
a
to. It
live
was like
stream.
2,500%. Or no, it might have even been 25,000% to get it that fast in the video.
There's a recommendation to go back to the fin, overclock it, so you can get up to 100.
Yeah, we need to be
Degrees.
stressing it out.
Yeah,
I'd love to see
Uh,
that.
Push forward for COVID.
There you go.
yeah. While running outside in the sun of the
Researching
desert.
COVID-19 in the desert from atop a roof.
One of the other things that Kat and I were chatting about in the past after it got built was like, what else could we use it for? And I started to think about like, it's awesome that, you can use it to stay connected with loved ones, but are there like actual use cases that apply towards like logistics, manufacturing, retail signage, things like that. I notice sometimes some of the grocery stores I walk into have like the price is almost on like an e-ink display now, or like what the item is and stuff like that. So I was trying to think if there's any other, I don't know if it's worth spending a moment on what else could you actually do with it while we're waiting for the next 21% of this to complete.
I think someone like on the Reddit thread had also asked like, could it display QR codes? I thought that was kind of
Oh,
interesting.
that's neat.
Yeah. But I didn't know, like, as you can see, sometimes it's a little like pixelated, but like, I don't know if that's just the font library. But yeah, if you could display an image and if it's like very accurate and like high res enough, I guess you could do QR codes.
Yeah, I don't see QR codes being a problem.
Yeah.
It's just a case of scaling them or making sure they're not stretched. So like one pixel in the QR code matches a pixel on the screen, like you say.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Because there's sometimes a little bit of an alignment thing. But we fixed that with the pixel font as well.
Yeah.
No, David, what are you?
It bothered
That's
him
worse
that
than
much.
keeping it on.
I know
No,
that.
air bubbles is the worst.
Oh, that's the worst. Where's your credit card? Bust it out.
Oh.
Flatten that thing.
Good.
I like the word of the day function. I know that's not too much of like an industrial use case, but you know, our daughter she just learned how to read. She wants to just read everything under the sun. It'd be pretty cool for her to wake up every day to a new word for her. I've challenged her. I told her if she finds a word that I don't know, I'll give her $1. At some point, she's going to exploit this because everyone exploits like gamified things, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like
Yep.
yeah, I think that's really cute. Like almost like reminds me like there's a bit of an old school element to this project as well, right? Like when I showed one of our software engineers, she was like, "Oh, that reminds me of those pagers back in the day."
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
someone
and
on
then,
Reddit
like-
said the same thing. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, a couple of people said that too. Yeah, and then when you're talking about like your daughter with like word of the day, I was thinking like back in the day when we had spelling bees, remember? You can learn how to spell a word each day. I wrote SAT vocabulary you can learn on that thing.
Have you seen Rahul's version, Kat?
His post-it notes?
Yeah. he
It's
can't
like,
access the parts, so he's like, well, what's the alternative? And he decided he'll just write the code on a post-it note and read it every day.
These are the challenges of like remote
We're going to get an
teams.
update
Sometimes
here.
hard to
How
get.
do we get the app and the screen on the display at the same time?
I did it earlier.
But you don't need the. Oh no!
Oh no! There it goes! There it goes!
There.
Hey, can you zoom in?
See, that was the moment we were waiting for an hour.
Sorry.
No, it wasn't an hour. It was only 30-something minutes.
Extend beyond your preconceived limits of waiting.
Yeah. There you go. See, now I can show you mine, which
That's
That's
a wonderful
pretty cool.
quote.
Oh,
That's
focus.
wait.
Focus.
Where's your focus card, Chris? I ordered you a focus card, and
There we
there
go.
we go.
Wow. Look
Wow.
at that fleet action.
Oh,
Look
See,
at
I've
that's so
turned the
that.
cute.
font down on mine, so it's a bit smaller.
And that's very appropriate because this project was beyond my preconceived limits. So
There we go.
That's really cool, Kat. Good job.
You're an odd fellow, but you
thank
steam a
you.
good
Thanks,
hand.
Mark.
Yeah, nice work. Nice post. I mean, you went all out for this, and it's pretty cool to see how well received it is, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. The projects that I know I personally enjoy are the ones where it's like can be used personally for very personal reasons, or can be extended to be very helpful to society, to the workplace, or whatever. Like, kudos to y'all. This is awesome.
Yeah, that is super cool.
And if you see on Chris's, like the font size is changed. So you're also allowed to adjust the fonts. And then there's like, I think there's like 8 different fonts in the library. And then along with the pixel font, right, Chris?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
So if the
Comic
quote
Sans?
happens to be really long, it will
No, not
automatically
Comic
drop
Sans.
it into a pixel font.
No Comic Sans.
Oh, no
please.
comment. Dang, I'm out.
You can PR Comic Sans
No
if you want.
Comic Sans.
You hear
So
that,
quick
community? PR Comic Sans. That's what I heard.
I mean, that PR is more likely to be accepted than a Twitter integration.
That's true. It's true.
I will not approve the merge. No Comic Sans. That's the worst font.
All right, unless
How long it takes the battery of the
Oh.
e-ink? How long it takes the battery?
About what?
the battery.
Okay, so I'm plugged in right now. What happens? E-ink should retain its display, right? So hold on. let me go back.
Yeah, so it just stays on. Like, so Chris and I were also saying, like, oh, if you find a quote that like you really really like, you can just like unplug it and it'll like stay on the quote that you like. I don't know why this was such a, like, again, I'm not from like a hardware hacking background, so especially when everyone started asking about, like, when I talked to Chris as well, we were talking about battery. And then when I talked to Konstantinos with like designing the case, he was also talking about battery. And I was like, why is everyone so like e-ink just stays on? I'm like a Kindle fan. I've had a Kindle for like 10 years now. So I know that like when it's off, it'll still be on. But apparently like on Reddit too, everyone was like battery. And then when I told my dad, who is an engineer, he was like, battery? And I was like, no, there's no point. I don't get it. Like, what's the whole
What we
thing?
need is solar power. That's what we need.
That'd be legit.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Actually,
Yeah.
But
just
now
stays there.
I have a power question. So
Mhm.
when you unplug it like that, is it always on, or does it turn on every once in a while to check if there's an update? Like, how does that work?
When you plug it in, it'll connect up to the cloud, right?
Oh, okay.
And then it'll see if there's a new message. I think it'll still refresh, but like if you didn't put in a message, or if a message didn't come through yet, then it'll just like refresh the same thing.
Goodness, because there's no battery on. I'm silly. That was a silly
Yeah,
question.
it's just there's no battery. So if you plug it in, it'll update.
Here's a good demonstration of how the e-ink displays last without battery. It's from our Instagram post on Valentine's Day. It's
Nice.
fine.
That was from pre-COVID world.
That's a nice one. Can you show that off again? Is that rose gold? What's going on there? Just white, clear.
Yeah, it's just white.
ink.
Oh, that's
This
very
is
pretty.
the Pi Supply Papyrus, the bigger one. So
Ooh.
this goes on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
larger Pi hat. It's
And so that's in there for
Inky
free.
what is that size too, I think.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, e-ink displays are so beautiful. I just think they're really like intimate, and like it's like, I just loved how like Kindle was like a book without being a book. It was like a whole library inside like this little thing. So yeah, when I saw this little Inky Fat, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was waiting for. Yeah. And then I wasn't surprised that it doesn't need a battery, but apparently the rest of the community is like, there's a hidden power cable in that picture. I'm like, not really.
So there'll be a follow-up episode about batteries and solar power.
So-
The Inky Shot.
Because we were thinking if you could put a solar panel on it just to get enough power to boot up once per day, that would do the trick. Because it just needs to boot up once, load the quote.
Yeah.
So you just need to charge enough just for one boot up and you'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Right on. All right, well, I think we're well over. We don't want to keep people on for too long. Huge props, kudos to Catt, Chris, everyone who gave us a shot, the community, Reddit folks who just absolutely loved it. I mean, we're very thankful to see that kind of reception for a cool project like this. If y'all want to give it a shot, feel free to check out the blog post. There's also a build video on our YouTube channel. We'll probably post that in the community thing. If you haven't yet, feel free to like and subscribe.
Yep.
Leave a comment if we missed your question or anything. We'll definitely answer those. Yeah, it's definitely an incredible machine.
Yeah, it is. Andrew, let me sneak in one last comment, which
Yeah, for
is
sure.
Be sure to join next week as well. We've got a special guest coming. We have Thibaut from Open Data Cam is going to be joining us. So Alan, I think you're going to be on that one as well. If you guys remember, it was probably 5 or 6 episodes ago when Alan showed off some of the work he was doing with that camera that was like tracking vehicles going down the road, and it had the directional stuff and all the overlays on it. So the creator, the co-owner of that project, is going to be joining us. He's got a new release coming towards the end of the month. I want to say the 23rd, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so Open Data Cam V3. It's in beta right now, so you can go grab it from GitHub. But anyways, yeah, definitely join us next week. We'll be talking about computer vision.
Very cool. All right, everyone, please stay safe out there, stay healthy, and have an incredible weekend.
All right.
Catch y'all
Thanks,
later.
guys.
See ya.
Thanks, David, for hosting this.
Thank
And
you all.
Andrew. Bye, guys.